Hello guys! Today we are testing two things in one day. The first thing is the Kaabo Mantis Pro with the two motors in the bigger battery from LG, 2.24 ampere hours, 24. And I want to see how long we can get if we put in the right settings. They say you should be able to cover 60 or 70 kilometers. Let's see if this is true. The second thing that we are testing today is a little bit funny, a little bit weird, and very interesting for me, to be honest. Socks. We're going to be riding maybe 60 kilometers if everything goes well. Whoa. I mean, honestly, at first when I was asked to review socks, I went like, okay, this is a little bit ridiculous. I mean, people are reviewing high technology gear, like for example, a free Kaabo Mantis or a bicycle or I don't know, something expensive. And I'm going to be reviewing socks, but as a matter of fact, those socks are not super cheap and they already feel very comfortable. So let's take the Kaabo for a ride and see what happens. Can we cover 60 or more kilometers today? And how are those socks going to handle this? Come with me. All right, let's go. Okay, we have the route and we are ready to ride. We're starting at 67.2 volts. Well, alright, so we are at the ring road here in Sofia, Bulgaria, and we're trying to get to the city of Pernik, which is about 35 kilometers away from here, and then coming back. This will total up to about 70 kilometers. We have set everything on the Mantis the way it should be. The socks are already feeling surprisingly comfortable, to be honest, but we'll test them as well. Everything is set properly and we are ready to ride. I have already covered 0.3 kilometers and we have about 70 in front of us. So let's go and see how far we can go. Do we have to push or can we actually ride it? As you can see, this section of the ring road is pretty busy right now, so we're actually going to cross on the other side and we'll take a few back roads before we can actually get outside of Sofia. The easiest way is on the ring road itself, but definitely not the safest way. A few weeks ago I tried almost the same route on my Segway ES4, so this is going to be a very interesting comparison between the two machines. Apparently not in the same class, but still an interesting test. The Segway, even with the two batteries installed, didn't do very well. I was able to get to half of the route, and then my battery was below 50% already. So I think the Kaabo Mantis is going to be the better scooter for this. Also, for the unpaved sections of the road, with those old cobblestones where I had to push the previous time around. It feels very comfortable to ride because of the amazing suspension that it has. I'm realizing something already, which I think it's true. It's even though it has regenerative braking and I have turned it on at setting 3, I still think it's better to not use the brake as much as you can not use it, of course, and use the inertia, because this is a better way to utilize all the power in the battery. This scooter, when you release the throttle, it just keeps cruising, and you can cover a bigger distance if you use this instead of using the brake all too often. So let's try to use this system. We have covered 1.5 kilometers already, and we have to cross this big street here and continue on the other side. Wow, I wonder what this is. It says it's guarded private property. Look at this interesting tunnel going right under those buildings with two windows on the two sides. Security. Whoa, it actually says they have guns, you know, the security. Wow. Very interesting place, which we cannot explore, so let's continue. Wow, I just stopped to show you something. Look at this old Skoda car. the emblem is missing. It doesn't have a license plate, but it's so beautiful. Look at this. Wow, very nice color too. I cannot tell you too much about those cars, despite the fact that back in the communist era in Bulgaria, many people were riding, actually you have the license plate on the back, weirdly enough. Many people were riding such cars, and all of the newer cars that we have today, they were super luxury. Like 95% of the population had those, and Zhiguli and Lada. And this brings back some child memories here on this street. Wow. Very beautiful back alley here. I have never been here, and this is one of the things that I like about exploration. You always get to see a new street, even in the city you're living in. The navigation says turn to the right here and then turn to the left, and basically zigzag across those small, beautiful streets. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Scary dogs! I hope my brakes can sustain. Nice. Wherever I need to use the brakes, I'm trying to use only the electrical brake, because this is a way to put electricity obviously back in the battery and elongate the range. If I use the regular brake too much, we're going to have less range apparently. All those small rivers flowing from Mount Vitusha and through the city of Sofia in those channels. And another dangerous dog right there. Hello! Alright, let's move on. Wow! I just passed many of the places I was at 1 month earlier on the Segway ES4, and I have to say it's so much easier with this e-scooter, with the Kaabo Mantis. It's just joy to ride it. I'm not saying anything bad about the Segway, it's just in a different class, and it's actually a great scooter. I have had a very happy 3000 kilometers on it, but the Kaabo Mantis, wow! Like so many of the places where I had to push before, I can just ride now, and it's just faster and it feels better. Здравейте. I should ride my bicycle as well soon, I guess, but for now the Kaabo is what I want to see, how much of a range we can get out of it. Alright, let's increase our speed. The maximum speed is around 35 kilometers per hour in terms of how I've set it, which is not bad at all. It's actually safer than riding at 60. Let's cross this street here and continue on the other side. Let's wait for this car. Like, what is cool is if you need to accelerate faster, for example, there were cars coming on the street, which they are sometimes, you can quickly press with one of your fingers at once the turbo button and the dual button, like so. Boom. And now look what happens. It becomes a rocket instantly, so you can surpass cars, or if you're in some dangerous situation on the road, you can just quickly pass away from it instead of passing away, Alright. Like before, I had to push like this so often, and now I can just hop back on and continue riding. I just have to improve my camera setup so that I can actually have the camera mounted on myself, and I can therefore be filming instead of having to hold the camera as I'm doing right now. Poor navigation. This is not a road. I can actually climb this perhaps, but I don't want to risk my tires and destroy our range test today. Yeah, I definitely need a setup which will allow me to have a camera mounted on myself, because otherwise I have to stop filming all of the time. Wow, do you remember this little street on the Segway 1 month earlier? Now with the Kaabo Mantis it feels amazing. It's actually accelerating by itself, which means we're saving some range, and which the Segway cannot do. And right in front of us there is like a paved section of the street where I had to push before. Let's see how I can handle this right now on the Kaabo. Okay, here it comes. Ready? Woohoo! Wow! I mean, not the best place to ride on, but definitely not a place where you need to push it. And now comes our beautiful tunnel, which I love. Look at that. Let's wait for the cars and woohoo!